God bless everyone. Thank you all for joining. I'm so grateful to be here and to be alive. To be here with all you guys. We are all living. We are all living together. I'm getting better. My body's messed up. So I can't eat food. It is October 6th. Thanks for asking. It's 2025, October 6th. Because my body got messed up years ago from the vegan diet. And ever since then, I haven't been able to eat food. So, what I wanted to talk about at the beginning of this is reincarnation. All your problems that you have are a buildup of all your problems from all your past lives. So anything that was resolved in your past lives, that is fine. But all your karma and all your problems you didn't solve in any of your past lives, they will show up in this current life. And again, you will have to overcome them. They show up mentally. So they are actually your thoughts. We're talking about reincarnation. But more importantly, we're talking about why you have problems. So they'll show up in your thoughts. And they'll actually show up physically. So all your problems that you have physically and all your thoughts, they are a buildup or your problems from all your past lives. Hello, Demitri. We're done talking about why you have problems. But if you have any more questions, Uh, Sick dog, you just drink then? No, I can't drink. I can barely drink either. Yeah, it's not just eating, it's also drinking. I only take sips, and I even barely ate anything in the last 8 days. I ate 2 solid bananas in the last 8 days, and 2 pieces of bacon. That's like all the solid food I got to eat. Even though I'm a little bit better from all the last years, this has been the worst week with eating solid food. Hello, Surrey full. Bye. Buh. There's no pipe to put down. The pipe's on your mind. I might be laying pipe. I talked about Scooby-Doo yesterday. Get a job. You got to understand, everything you do is a job. Getting out of bed, doing the dishes, walking anywhere, doing anything with the physical body is a job. Even furthermore, this is my job. And basically, you're always working. That's true, BB. There's some lad following me. Someone's been following me all my life, and it's me. Are you... Hello, Psych. Or Sky. Sky. Hello, BB. Are you happy? I've been happy all my life. About 95% of it. I wish I could eat food, and then I'd be again the happiest person on earth, as I was before. When you can't eat enough food, you can't even create energy to even, quote unquote, be happy. Yeah. But yes, I am. And lighthouse, I was always drawn to lighthouses. So that's something definitely in my past lives. Because that image would come to me. And I still do like them. Hello, coolest Grammy in town. It's cold. It looks cold. Yes, it does look cold. Perceive. But my body, since it can't eat and doesn't have the nutrients, it shakes. and it is cold in itself because you need certain nutrients to keep you warm. So in fact, I am colder. What what type of unregistered firearm would you like? I've never actually touched a gun. You know, I don't really know about guns because they've never interested me in all of my life. I've only gone off of stuff that interests me. Yeah. I have touched one because people like, oh, here, touch this, but I don't really know. Yeah. Maybe like a bow and arrow. Yeah, I don't really know too much about firearms. Yeah. Simply because I've never really had interest. Hello, Rusty Vlogs. Okay. Or Matthew Kuna. You should find some dandelion, Dimitri. That's the 1 year I used to actually just grab dandelion from the ground and I'd put like tahini and raw honey on it. And I would literally eat the dandelion right from the yard or wherever. The flower and the leaf. Yeah. Strike while the cheese was warm. Thank you for that, Dimitri. Yeah. Dandelion is really powerful. Why don't you ask for money? Because I feel God, and God's gonna give me whatever I need. Hello, evolution is a mystery. I've never done meth. Never even thought about it. Never even talked about it. Hello, Goldwyn. That's funny, Melanie Swan song. I was just talking about a candle yesterday. Yeah. Your flame inside of you, you can light the whole world just with your flame. You can actually light a whole forest with just the flame of a candle. Hello, outlaw. I don't know what you mean, Mr. R. Hello, Troy Miller, face growing. Yeah, hello, Alberto. We just talked about Puerto Rico and Costa Rica yesterday. I'm not sure if they're part of the Caribbean. but that's kind of why we talked about it. A job is pack 4 kits. A job is whatever you make it in your mind. There's no such meaning. And what you interpret as a job, that only means something to you. Even if all the world agrees, or most of it agrees that, oh, this is a job, but that's only because you agreed upon it, and it still doesn't make it anything else. Yeah, Melanie, that is true. If that's how you say your name. Yeah. Because there's people who consider what you do not a job. There's people who, I don't even know where you're getting at with get a job. Probably something with money. But there's people that don't deal with money. They could live in a village. So your job is just infrequent or means nothing to them. There's also somebody that could inherit money. So they don't need a job, quote unquote. There's also people who could have hit the lottery. So they don't need a job. Presuming that's what you were talking about. Or somebody could be rich, where they don't need a job again. So the idea of a job is just something in your head. Free from thoughts. But yes, Swan Song, a lot of people do need relit. That's actually why we are here. Your existence depends on other people. We are meant to help people. Hey. The dog heard me, not the person. Jesus is God. You feel there's no afterlife. The afterlife is more something to either scare you or save you. But what the real afterlife is already here. If you feel God right now, or if you feel the presence of life right now, it's the same thing, then you already feel the presence of life. There's nowhere to go. The concept of heaven and hell, while they are real places, it's for people that are stuck in their mind. So eventually you can graduate and actually become one with life and actually feel God. Yeah. That can go a lot deeper too. Yeah. That is true, Melanie. Can I get your take on spiritual warfare? Your family are going to be usually the most antagonist in your life. Their energies are going to be going against yours. And because you grew up with them and you were with them in past lives, so their energy is basically repulsive to yours. But one thing, anything that you don't like or you feel uncomfortable with, you're meant to get away from those people. So all it is an indication to move away from them or get away from them. Yeah. And more importantly, everybody you see in your daily life, you're seeing them, even though you may not have this crazy contact with them, but they are in your life for a specific reason. It's not just a bystander, and it's not just somebody in the background, because everybody you see, you are connected to. Every time you go to a register, you pay money, there's a total, you see numbers. These are all meant for you to be seen, and simply there are no coincidences. Yeah. So everything you see in your life is going on for a reason. More so you created it. Yeah. So everything is there for your benefit or your advantage. In regards to the family members or anybody, even friends, if you don't like how they make you feel, there is people out there that are going to make you feel good, but you need to get away from them. And once you follow what makes you happy or what you love to do, there will be no resistance, and you won't have all these people that you don't like or situations you don't like, because you're doing what you do like. So anything you don't like in your life, it's for you to actually think about it and to change it. Oh, thank you, Baden. Yeah. Happiness in the mind will go up and down like a roller coaster, but the happiness that you feel from the life you are, it's always emanating. So you are forever happiness. You don't have to do anything. Hello, Riri Flower. The only time you have to chase happiness is when you don't feel happiness. So you need a method. You need a following. But where you ever feel happiness is you are the source of it. It's not happening outside of you. Money, power, woman, right? How are you? Why can't you eat? My adrenals are not pumping, and my digestive system is not running food through. Yeah. Hello, ZBD. Like, Final Destination has been talking about this for a while now. The matriarch. Yeah, there's my body's basically shut down to a point where it doesn't process food nor liquids. Okay? It's not one or the other, both. Hello, Nick. Hello, Dustcrafted. I do get spiritual food from the Father because the source of all life, it is inside of you. So when you are tapped in with the source, you do gain more energy. That is true. But my body's been messed up for a very long time. This is actually how I found out about all this. And I still need to eat. So yes, while if you do feel love and you have happiness, then you'll want to stay awake more and you'll have more energy. That is true. I don't know who Rupston is. I will be probably going to India next year. I'm Aksha. I'm going to be traveling the world next year to teach spirituality and how to find God. Hello, Fletcher. Rapston Music? Nope, never heard of that. Yeah. New Delhi. Yeah. So I'm not going to be traveling for my own expense. It's going to be just to make people happy. Yeah. How do you know you aren't a false prophet? Because I don't think of anything about a prophet. Mods are gay. There's nothing to moderate. And I mean that in the whole world as a general sense. There's nothing for me to control. Because there's no need to. God controls all of this. And he controls your life too. Yeah. Simply, you just let him guide you by feeling what is right. For a gallon of gas. And yeah. Maybe someone can do that. That mustache, I wish you had the courage, the son of Steve. You do have the courage. It's because society has pressured you into something, or you simply say you don't have the courage, but you can literally just grow it. I have faith in you, and I know you can do it. So thank you for the compliment. Can I come, Martin? Yeah, yeah. You might see me there. Yeah, I plan to go everywhere. I don't plan to miss anybody. This is what God has set me to do. Hello.
No.
I have no life outside of this because of the circumstances, life circumstances that happened to me. And there's nothing else I want. You think you could give me anything or everything, but there's nothing that I want. Are you asking if I'm going to go to Australia? Or if I'm going to, or if I am Australian? Yeah. My mom gave me this bandana, so she gave me actually a couple colors. Hats make me itchy. And I also like when the sun hits your head. So. And yellow is my favorite color. Thank you, Andres. BA, he's been talking about women, and I've been trying to explain about this. If you stop focusing on something outside of you, but if he stops focusing on woman, then he'll simply not think about it anymore. The more you talk about something, the more it invades your mind, and the more you'll have to deal with it. So if you talk about God all the time, well, then God will be in your life. You need to eat something before your travels. Well, that's nice of you. And hopefully I do, you know. And if I die, then I die. As I already stated, my life is over. It really is. Don't see that as a bad thing. But I'm only here to support other people. I have no life outside of that. Yeah. But if I die, and this goes with anybody, then you die. It's a positive thing. Hello, Alex M. No, I may look Australian, but I'm not. Oh yeah, of course. Of course, Dust Crafted. That is true, Sim Paul. Yeah. You look like you catch birds with your hands. I do catch the chickens in my backyard, which is a bird. But I would love to catch a bird. And birds, they come in so many like shapes and sizes. Penguins, all the way to pterodactyls and vultures. Yeah. Blue herons, which I have one locally. How many woodchucks would a woodchuck chuck? Uh, Probably about 100. Hello, Leela's Freedom. Yeah, I like the name Leela. Hello, Carol. God bless all you guys. What did you go through for 48 days? I I don't block people because I respect their views. I'm not against anybody. I have no hate for anybody. And I understand we all want happiness. Even though they or we might not understand that. Yeah. I'll never be angry at anybody. Simply, there's nothing to be angry about. And the trolls are living through their message. They're living through their life. And they're making their own choice. So, everybody's playing a role. Well, apparently I'm speaking Robert Greer. And apparently I'm on live right now. Walking. Yeah. I've never said I'm a prophet. I've never said I'm smart. But a lot of people, and I've never done drugs. But a lot of people claim all these things of me. People will shove more words in your mouth than you ever say or talk about. That is true, Richard. Always look both ways. Yeah. Sometimes when I cross the street, I actually don't look. I just tap into my senses, the sixth sense, and I feel if there's a car coming. And simply, I don't even look. There's no need to. Yeah. I am capsize. Hello, Juwan. Hello from Belgium. Do you hear his voice? The way God speaks to you is actually through the feeling, and it is your intuition. This is where his data comes into. This is where the voice comes into. And it's very subtle. So you have to slow down to listen. But it's more so through the feel that God talks to you. Yeah. But you can talk to God through your mind. Okay? That doesn't mean you feel him. But you can use your mind to talk to God directly. But you have to, have 110% of intent. Okay? Because if you're fooling around or you don't mean it, then he knows you don't mean it. But you can talk to him intellectually. Hello, Emit. So God does speak to your mind if you wish it, want to. But the feel of him, it is outside of the mind. It's the greatest feeling ever. You'll be joyful forever. And you'll be completely satisfied for the rest of your life. This is where everybody's ultimately trying to get to. If Jesus was God, who did he pray to? He prayed to the moment. There was nothing to pray to, but it was actually a silencing of the mind, thus making you happy and putting you in a state of love, which all there is. Thank you, Simple. I don't really know Rob Zombie. All right, we're going to scroll down. Hello, Dancing Feathers. Yeah. I mean, he could also pray to God. I was just giving one example and one perspective. That is true, Shell Bothma. But that was the perspective on my mind. Because I have a video I'm going to be shooting. But I haven't shot it yet, and it was just this morning that it came to me. Hello, Visbeck. Have you seen God? You will never see God because he is the feel and he is just the feel, and it's everywhere. That's why you'll never see it. But you are seeing the forms or the cover-ups because he's all around you. He is the air. He is the life in every human being, every tree and animal. That may be the outer shell, but technically he's in everything because he is life. And life runs on love. Okay? So when you feel love, that is God himself. Hello, Little Miss Sunshine. Yeah. People have different perspectives. That's all your life is. If you tell me about somebody, you're telling me your perspective and your description. Other than that, the person doesn't really exist. You're just describing them mentally to me. But Jesus, some people say he's the Son of God, or he is God. I just like to say he is God, and he's the physical representation. Else, because of God's omnipresence, there is no physical representation in Christianity. Woman lives on super relaxed mode. Well, you can be super relaxed too. Final Destination. Shalom, Dawn CA. Thank you all for being here. But anything you know about reality. Hey.
Off to work I go.
Me too. You're just describing it. Anything you know about reality is something you agreed upon mentally, or it's the way you describe it. It doesn't make it more real, nor does it even make it real. Anytime you talk about somebody, let's just say I see another human, there's no way to really get to know him. You would describe him, sure, but someone could describe them completely different. Okay? How's it going? Someone could be like, oh, that person is naive, nasty, and stupid. Then another person can be like, oh, that person is, fast, super smart, and funny. Who was right and who was wrong? Also, someone could say, they hate me and I'm stupid. Well, you could change it instantly and be like, oh, he's smart and he's handsome. Which one is it? Yeah. So the only way to know anybody is just how you describe them. But what does that mean? You're just describing them. That's not who they really are. Really, if you feel the life inside of you, then you feel connected to everything. See, you think I need to get a razor, Odium Rex? But that's just your judgment? Why it's there? I don't know. But I think the complete opposite of you. I think I don't need a razor. And we've already talked about the job aspect. But your idea of a job is just something that you've been mentally implanted with. Because everything you do is a job. Getting out of bed. Some people don't want to get out of bed, though they aren't happy. Getting up is a physical labor job. There's people who sit in bed all day, even though they can get up. How's it going? Fantastic. God bless you. Yeah. Going to get food is a job. Cutting the grass is a job. Anything that involves movement, because you don't necessarily have to do. There is a difference between overthinking and deep thinking. Overthinking would be you're having too many thoughts, going one to the other. Versus deep thinking, you're stuck on one thought and you keep thinking about it. Both are refuteless because you want to stop thinking. And then immediately you feel God's presence. Yeah. Jesus paid the price for our sins, but people are still sinning, and people are still paying for their price of sins, which people are, yeah. Hello from Scotland, Elizabeth Jones. Thank you, Dancing Feathers. Yeah, my day just begun, and I'm overly excited to be here with you guys. Yeah. And I love all you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, EM, and I'm not against you. I'm not against anything. As soon as you create resistance towards something, then you block this connection in this flow of life. Can I have a kiss? Yeah. And even more importantly, EM, that's your own individual interpretation. You'll never get everyone to see it from your point of view, and it'd be a mess if you tried to. Everyone simply is going to have their own perspective. You're allowed to have your own, but everybody else, it doesn't mean you're wrong, but everyone else, no matter what, is just going to have their own perspective. Why I'm saying that is there's no sense of trying to resist other people's perspectives. I'm not talking about mine. I'm just talking about other people. There's no reason to be mad at other people. When you're mad, you restrict your life force. Yeah. And when you tell someone they're wrong, this is my perspective, someone else can say the same exact thing, which then people want to fight over their perspective. No one's right or wrong. Thank you, Ice Pop. Yeah, it's a... I feel what I'm talking about because I just feel life. There's nothing else to feel. If you don't feel love and happiness, well, then you're not feeling life. Because it just emanates out of you. We should be the happiest person in the world. not because of anything going on, not because anything outside of you, because your life is bouncing up and down with joy. It's like, how are you not happy? You should be bursting with joy, literally jumping up and down, skipping around, because that's your true nature, full of happiness and love, so much that it just overspills out of your cup, out of your vessel. That's how happy you should be. And simply, there's no excuse. Excuse is taking you away from the present moment. People love excuses. These are the people that are the most miserable. Because they have to defend their miserableness. They have to defend why they're not happy. And then you see, it gets into all these other things. So if I have no clue what I'm talking about, the church underground, you better be the happiest person in the world. So I have to tolerate the state of your messages. You're not tolerating nothing. That's just your ego tolerating. And you're resisting. You don't have to watch. You don't have to do anything. The church is a physical representation of the human body. Everything is. That's why roots underground, they look exactly like the veins in your body. That's why animals look like us, some of them. We all have similar features anyway. The church is just a reflection of the human body. Again, there is nothing outside of you, and everything comes from the inside. You are the walking scripture. Yeah. And God tells you what is right. He tells you before it happens, because he makes you feel a certain way. If you ignore how he makes you feel about what is right, well then, you will face a consequence. It's not bad or negative, but it's not going to be the best. And then eventually you will learn, oh, this feels right. This is why I do this. You know, people always tell you about the stuff you should be doing. But what about all the stuff you're not doing? And there's so many things. I'm not kicking a dog. I'm not physically hurting someone. I'm not torturing anything. Because all that stuff feels wrong. That's the reason you don't do these things. You have waken up. What you would call an evil person, they have severed the connection with God and with feeling life. though it is there, they're caught up in their own ego. So everything they do is right to them. And they even have the permission to call you wrong. Because the ego is the devil. Negativity is the devil. Yeah. Yvette Gostelium. God could appear and smoke next to you, but he is that is just one of his performances or his appearances. So if it was him, again, but he is everything. So I do believe you. Our mind is the separation from the reality because we try to define reality or get descriptive about it. But that actually separates us from feeling it, the thinking. Hello, Josh Wheeler. Men face more competition. So what? Yeah, they're 2, 3 personalities of God. Okay. We are lost without Christ. Yes, when you don't feel God, when you don't feel love, you could not know it, but you most definitely are lost. But if you don't know it, well then, ignorance is a bliss, or simply you don't know it. So, Kears Brown, I'm in Pennsylvania, United States of America. Christ is the feeling of love. Trying to see some good comments, but and you can inform yourself if you have all the answers by tuning to God. Then we have all the answers. He is the answer. By sitting still is how we get there. Thank you for the emoji, Little Miss Sunshine. I'm not homeless, Con. that is a self-reflection towards you. I am life. You're judging me, and by saying you don't need preached. And then 2, you're putting words in my mouth. 3, you're calling me homeless, which you're making assumptions. So you just did like 4, and we could expand all the way up to 7 of things you created with your mind. You've created that with your mind. You're just not aware enough. You could say, I'm beautiful. You could say, oh, this man is, I love him. You could send me $1. You could just say something real positive. But you chose what you chose. And what the main point of saying that is, you can change what you think about anything immediately. Once you realize this, someone donated some dollars. Hello, boss. Sunshine. Yeah, I don't know, but God bless whoever made a donation. I am going to be dropping some exclusive videos for people that actually signed up for the membership. I decided I wasn't going to do that like a month or 2 ago. But today, I will be dropping exclusive videos for people that pay for that $6 membership. Just wanted to announce that. You look like Chris Hemsworth. Don't know who that is. These aren't atheist live streams. And it doesn't matter if you're atheist, because you're living and you can tap into the life you are, and you can indulge into the life you are to where you feel it and you're not thinking about it. And you can believe in God. But more importantly, you'll feel Him. Feeling Him is the belief. And that's where the belief wants to get to. The grass is growing. The trees are spreading. So they are alive. That proves there is life. And you are a part of this life. And the trees, quote unquote, lose all their leaves. So in a way they die, or they change. And you can see this. So that proves logically to an atheist that there is life, because stuff grows. Therefore, you can feel this life. Women, hello, Rodrigo. Women cheat you in their mind. Yeah. More so, more so in your mind. This is the harsh truth about relationships. Are you ready? If you're with somebody and they go cheat or they leave, well, you have to allow them to do that. There's nothing wrong with what they did. That was their choice. If you don't allow their choice, then you're resisting life, which is not bad, but you will become angry. You will become upset, and you will stay upset and angry. If someone leaves you, it's a blessing. There's somebody better for you. Or you don't need anybody. So when someone leaves you, cheats you, thank God. God is trying to reach you now. God has better plans for you. Don't be like, now you hate her. You can't believe it. Don't talk shit about her, or sorry. Don't smolder her. You stoop as low as her when you talk negative about somebody or him. Simply, it's not in your control. If the woman wants to leave you or cheat, it has nothing to do with you. You did whatever you did. It's not your fault. It wasn't meant to be. And people can't see this. They get, oh, I hate this, I hate this. Most of the time, it wasn't working out anyway. It wasn't. When something works out, you know it feels right. There's no guessing. There's no questions. And most people don't really get that. Yeah, emotion. Yeah, negative emotions. Yeah, that is true. Demi-tree. And where are you from? Or where are you residing now? Happy Monday morning, Ghost Samurai. I'm so happy for all you. Through all the life you lived through. The life we're still living. And we will live forever. This life is a blessing itself. So enjoy your happiness. Make the life the one you want to live. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Again, if someone cheats on you, that's a good thing. Now you know they're not for you. Or you could accept them back. But don't be angry about it. Being angry gets you nowhere. This is the type to try to block a punch with his chi. Someone could punch me right now. I'm not gonna feel anything from it. It may be a wake-up call to you, but it's not going to affect me in any way. I'm not going to get mad, not going to revolt, not going to hate that person, not going to criticize them. Rom JM. If your girlfriend says I love you, but only if you follow my rules. I'm so accepting of life that whatever happens to me, I'm fine with. Yeah. It's God's will. But and since I allow this, I don't have somebody trying to do all this negative stuff. Someone's not going to come punch me because I'm not living in that vibration. Someone's not going to shoot me right now. Someone's not going to come and steal my phone because I've accepted life. I'm not living in a state of fear. Hello, MK. Chat got it all figured out. Yeah. Yeah, West Side. We've all pretty much had toxic relationships. The key is to forgive the person. You don't have to stay with the person. You don't even have to think about the person. That is freedom. Freedom when you let other people do what they want. That's freedom for you. We are talking about freedom of thoughts. Then you're free forever. That's why the chat's here. Greetings from Germany. Chat just knows it all. I mean, yeah. Long live the American Empire. Thank you, Timothy Dion. Yeah. If you just do what you want to do, God will give you everything. He will give you that partnership. He will give you money. He will give you sustenance. Because when you live in a state of happiness, in a state of love, that's what God really wants for you. Oh, thank you, Jeremy. God bless all you guys. You're just acting. Crystal Lyanne Dawn Day Chief. there really is no free will because you feel what you need to do. This is God speaking to you. This is the environment speaking to you. You feel which way you should go. You feel you need to do this. It's the only thing you feel. Okay? It happens one at a time. And it's always there. Your mind is just thinking of all this stuff and it's over here, it's over this, da da da. Because that's not who you really are. You are the feel of this life. And this is when it flows. It just naturally happens. It's naturally pulling you what you want to do. So are you really have free will? Not quite. Because you would be going against life. Unfortunately or fortunately, life is already pulling you where you want to go. It's been there since a child. And we are here to come to this. Why I just sat down right now, not because I chose to sit down or thought about it. It simply just happened. Why I walked like a certain way, I wasn't thinking about which way to go, though it may seem like it because you're in your thoughts. That was the way that was flowing, feeling the call. Yeah. To the mind, it sounds like mayhem. The mind doesn't want you to go against it. Basically, your mind wants to like exist in its own thought structure, but your intuition is always telling you what you need to do. Thank you, Odd Falcon. Thank you for that. There's another guy named Falcon in here. Hell only exists. First of all, it's a frequency. Hell only exists when you think about it. Okay? If you think about God, you're not thinking simultaneously about hell. Hell is more so a negative feeling. If you're thinking about a hot dog, you're not thinking about hell. The only relevance is whatever's on your mind. And you only have one thing on your mind at a time. So does it exist if you cease to think about it? That's fine if you're an atheist. I have nothing against anybody. And I'm not here to judge nobody. For there's no one to judge. Quack, quack. We are meant to enjoy life and have fun. So if you do this, your life will change. Final Destination, you're really up on this. Free from the dome. Yeah, it's yeah. The real jail, the real hell is inside your head. Thank you, Kate. Your profile picture is crazy in a good way. Mice. I don't. What is a misonist? I don't know how to say that. Wait, are you smoking, JM? You're in constant fear of losing your heaven. I mean, again, that's just a feeling. Anything that you don't want to believe is false. Anything you don't like, that is false. Yeah. Because you don't like it. Meaning it's not real. Yeah. You don't like a thought you're having because the thought itself is false. Not who you really are. Bernie Sanders should have been president. Yeah, probably. But everything's going as the script goes. Going as God wanted it. You can't fear death because you can't escape it. So it means everybody dies when they're supposed to die. It's a positive thing. You might see it as a negative thing. That is your choice. It's definitely not a bad thing. And you'll be rejoiced with life, more life. When you escape the body. No, I can't frame this without God. Nobody you know. Not fixing the spelling. MAGA probably has a deeply rooted meaning. More importantly, no one has really said anything about anything like that. I want God, love, and happiness. That's the best thing to want. Dragon Ball. We all want that. Just some people don't realize that. But you keep that want, Dragon Ball, because that's the best one to ever have. In fact, there is no other one. Do you know Eric Bress, Sarah, Emily? Like personally? I don't think I've ever heard of that name. Yeah. The chicken, yeah. I love chickens. Everything is so beautiful if you just stop and stare. Stop trying to get descriptive. You'll feel this sense of life. It's only when you really stop you see the beauty in things. When the mind is haywire and agitated, you won't be able to sit and see this beauty. It's everything. One more. And one more after that. And then I'll push you for the last one. Bow to Lord Baby Chicken. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Sarah, Emily. Yeah. There is life inside the chicken. There is life inside of a baby. Even your enemy. So they're all connected to you. And you can praise any one of these because God is behind their ego. That's why people love babies, because they're intrinsically tied to God. They have not yet started judging. And even a chicken has the same life inside of you. God is in the chicken. This is why the Buddhists and certain cultures, more importantly India, they say do no harm, because the same life is in the chicken. Okay? But if you're eating it for sustenance, then it has to happen. That's a great way of seeing it, Kate. It's so great that you see that. Yeah. A lot of people haven't come to that. When you realize you don't have to get angry anymore, then you're free. When you realize you don't have to react in anger, you never have to feel it again. And if you actually see how anger makes you feel, it's the worst feeling in the world. That's why it's represented as the devil. Yeah. It's just resisting life. You're just not accepting what other people are doing or what's happening. But it is happening. And usually you think about stuff that happens in the past. That's already happened. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. We have to learn to accept it. You know, I've had emotional experiences in my life. My last one that affected me was when I was 20 years old. And the one before that was when I was 19 or 18. So I don't have to struggle with emotions, as in like anger or sadness, because I've got over them, you could say. I've conquered them. Yeah. And yeah, they were close. They were around the same time almost. And it was people, usually the people you love the most or that are the closest to you. They're here to teach you a lesson. And yeah, I just learned my lessons very young. Some people never learn their lesson. And it's just coming to the fact that you don't have to resist. You don't have to be mad. You don't have to, crucial, your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. You're no better than them for you scrutinizing them. Okay? You're just you're feeding off the same vibration. I've had my brother steal from me multiple times. I've had times he stole from me that I didn't even know he stole. I don't even know about those times. And I had a best friend basically steal off of me. A childhood best friend. Yeah. That was the last time that I got angry, actually. So. An eye for an eye would make the world blind. Yeah. Such as if you're a tribe and you go kill another tribe, or let's just say we got all the evil people in the world. We're going to use both of them. You captured all the evil people and you beat them to death. We kind of know who these evil people are. You're just going to make them more mad. Do you understand that? You're acting out of anger. God's already going to cover everything. You basically don't even have to do anything. Sometimes it's better not to. If we go cause anger to evil people, they're just going to get more angry about it. They're not going to learn a lesson. You think they're going to learn a lesson, but you never thought it through. We have to rehabilitate these people and help them. Hence, that's why we are here. If you're in a tribe, let's just say you go and kill like another tribe, but you kept the woman. Some of them, they're going to be pissed. they're going to come back and sneak and finish off your tribe now. and then it's just going to keep going. Yeah, Final Destination. Don't tell someone else to be quiet. Obviously, we can tell you're a little upset. You don't have to be upset, though. Brownie points with the men. Oh, man. Hello, Jing Jing. Yeah, the Bible, you're right, Germany, is just a guide to life. And yeah. But you can't, God is everywhere. You can find him in a bar. That's what the bar is trying to tell you. The traffic wants you to slow down, to realize you don't have to react. You don't need to go fast. There's really nowhere to go. What happens when you're in a rush? You get frantic. You get things. So slowing down is the best. Like if you're ever in a hurry to get somewhere, such as like a party, even to meet up with a friend, you're in a hurry, but then you get there and it slows down. And now you don't have that rush anymore. And now it coincides with the present moment because you were such in a rush. Now everything almost is not like a standstill. And it's not what you thought it was going to be. Yeah. Because we're always in the present moment. There's nowhere to really get ahead or go to. Well, you can feel God, Mac Red Management, and that's what we're talking about, actually feeling it. A lot of people, this is something I wanted to talk about, but we're gonna get there. A lot of people, they're just talking, and it even happens with certain religions. People are talking, whether it's positive, they don't actually feel God. You could talk about sex all your life. Okay, that's just a mere assumption, and that's just your perspective. Everyone has one. But if you've never actually had sex, then you're just talking about it. You've never actually experienced it. So, the same thing, a lot of people talk about God, but they've never actually been in his presence. So, I get what you said, Mac read management. And unfortunately, particularly on YouTube, but everywhere, people are caught up in their own ideas. I would say 95% of people lie. Most of the world is lying to you. It is unfortunate, but it's why we are here. And a lot of people on YouTube, they lie, like hands down. Whether they're lying for views, which usually it is, a lot of people love to lie. And when you lie once, you create more lies. Yeah. I'm not here to lie. There's nothing for me to lie about. Yeah. That is true, Carol. Yeah. Whose powers have been suppressed for a long time. Yeah, especially the feminine side. That's why the feminine side is on a rise. Okay? It's been toxic masculinity. There's been too much overpowering of the masculine side. That's why there's not love. Yeah. Happy Halloween, kids. Yeah. Do you Instacart in Pittsburgh? I used to. I used to. Do you need a Bible to find God? The Bible just comes from, it's a representation of the person. You can feel God right now. And so can anybody. Because he's always right here. And there is nothing other than this. You have to drop all the knowledge in your head. Anything you think you know, just put it to the side for a while. Drop everything from your head. And if you don't believe in God, well, you are life, because you are living. You can tap in, because what is life? It is actually the feel of it. And you can tap into this feel and feel your very existence. And it's the very existence of everything. This only happens, though, let me verify this, when you completely stop thinking. This is why people want to go back to being a kid. Because you weren't thinking when you were a kid. Thus, you were always in God's presence. And even more so, if you're stuck in your mind, you're not going to necessarily believe this. It's just, it's outside of the mind. It has nothing to do with it. So, this is a big thing where people get messed up. Yeah. Because you can feel the life you are. You literally tap into the feeling, and there's just nothing on your mind. In a way, you cease to exist. You kind of like merge with reality. You do. Yeah. So you can call it whatever, but what people refer to it as is God. You're not thinking, so there's nothing going on. But you feel the ultimate greatest thing to feel, because that's the purity of life. It is a liveliness. Yeah, it is life itself. Yeah. No words really get you closer to it, but they can put you in a trance to feel this. So you can call it God, you can call it love. The Buddhists, they call it nothing. Okay? That's just their way of guiding. Everybody's trying to get to this feel. It's the best feeling in life. Everything is nowhere near it, which would be emotions. And everything you do in your life is for you to get so in the activity that you actually stop thinking. This is our idea of fun, because it is fun to be in spirit. Yeah. So all activities, no matter what you do, are so you actually stop thinking about it and feel it. Yeah, the only proof that he's real is simply when you feel it. The only thing that is real in your life is simply life itself. The only thing that is real is something you feel. Do you understand this? Because what you have in your mind, it's just data. There's no realness behind it. It's a statistic. You can actually create emotions such as anger and sadness in your mind, but again, you create that, and then you think you are that. But there's a fundamental feel of all this going on. How's it going? There's a fundamental feel of life. And that's all there ever is. Again, the mind is just repetition. Of data that you've had. How are you? How's it going? I'll let you go in front of me. YouTube love never fails. There's nothing to fail. A fail is something a category you have in your mind. You see it as failing. And it can be hard, of course. But it's only because you see it that way. You actually have success. Why are you not calling it success? Let's say you lay a brick down. It's just you categorizing it. But you might as well categorize it as the best. As in the best possibility. I lay a brick down. But let's say like the brick falls over. It's not bad. I didn't fail. It just happened. And once you wake up to this, everything is just happening. There's no yes and no. Everything is right. Simply, it's only bad or you fail when you view it that way. Man is on his way from Woodstock. I give you brownie points for that one. And that was very original. Your addiction began in October? What addiction are you talking? Yeah. It doesn't matter if someone tells you fail. There's no such thing. You have the giggle bush addiction. If you're happy and in a state of love, doesn't matter what you do. Hello, Candy. There used to be one of my best friends when I was younger. He had a cousin named Candace, and I'm pretty sure she used to get so upset when we would call her Candy. Hello, Mr. Thunder. Hey, what's up, boss? I like your beard. We're gonna be getting out of here, though. Yeah, Jesus is God. I mean, I may look like an Islamic extremist, but if we all grew our hair out, and I respect your opinion, then we would all look somewhat like this. I just wanted to show you the little things. Okay. Hello, Lindsay Hypes. Yeah. I guess with the bandana, it makes it a little bit more. Yeah. When we resist, we block the flow. The flow is always calling us. Oh, I want to do this. yeah, this is where I feel I need to go. As soon as we try to like interpret it through the mind, yeah, then we block the answers. We block the feel. It's not blasphemy. Carnivorous, giraffe. That's just whatever you think. That's your interpretation of. But we've discussed this today already. But it doesn't matter. What matters is your interpretation. Yeah. People are going to call you wrong no matter what. So. How, how do you cope with retention, Rodrigo? You simply, well, if you want a girl or a mate, simply you go with the power, you will go get a mate. So you'll take action. If not, then completely exclude sex out of your life. Exclude it out of your mind. Don't pay it. Don't look at any women's. A lot of women are. They are very seductive. I. Especially when you're retaining. Yeah. They're almost too addicting. But simply, you just don't look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Like if a woman's like, it's mostly through the screen, okay? But we're gonna have to expand on that some other time. Yeah. See you later, Carol. See you later, 3.14 slices of pie. Yeah. Trust is something you feel. You can always be in a state of trust. As soon as you waver from your trust, then it's not real. Okay, so it becomes false. If you stay in a state of trust, such as no worries, you actually have to stay there. And it carries it with you. How's it going? Fantastic. Oh. So, the universe will give you everything if you stay in a state of calmness. Yeah. Trust everything. Nothing goes wrong. The traps are for us. Yeah, they are. They're God trying to bite you in. I see. That's first death of life. Where did that's That's more so about physicality. In a way, yes, it is a giant corpse. Okay, it's not. It's not been showed, but basically, all of life just came from the feel of life itself. Whether it just popped up out of thin space, or it just existed through the state of love, and then other things grew. Now, outside of that, there is no answer to that. You're just going to get stories upon other stories. Yeah. Which again is gonna just boggle your mind. You're gonna think more. If we turn off thinking, we will feel God. We will feel life itself. And then there won't be no more questions. Simply because there's no thinking. And you'll feel satisfied. Because this is the goal of life. Is simply to feel your life. Thinking just really creates more thinking. It wants to end in itself. Yeah. This is why everybody's trying to do something. They want to get somewhere. Yeah, you want to stop thinking. Because it's basically aggravating in itself. Yeah. And then for some people it leads them to do like crazy things. Yeah. God bless you all. We'll be here on the next sunrise, 7 a.m. Eastern time, every morning, basically. So that's like the set time. Thank you all for being here. Hello. Good morning. Hell is fire, that is true. It's being over consumed by the fire. Yeah. Came to me last night. Yeah. God judges us by the things that we did negatively to the world and the negativity that we caused. Yeah. Because we felt it before it happened and then we caused it. Yeah. Yeah, caffeine high. I'm not a fan of caffeine. Yeah. God did give us all the plants and herbs to use. If it's just to guide us back to ourselves. For that is something outside of us. And every plant and herb has a use, you know, and multiple uses, but it's just an extension of ourselves. We see the plant from inside of us, also, even actually touching it, smelling it, and even when we consume it, it goes in us. So, hence, everything is already there inside of us. Yeah. God bless all you guys. You know, I have to go. Congratulations on all you guys living your lives. And I hope you find God's happiness in eternal life. No one's better than you, and no one is better than anybody else. I'll see you guys later. Thank you, Elf. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, JNR Cardi. Thank you, Mad Gun. Jeremy. And MK. See you later, Rodrigo. Yeah, I think you came in at the end of this, so also I would have answered some of that stuff a little bit more deeply. We will, though. And your life will be fine. Your life already is fine. As soon as you become okay with whatever is existing, allow everything to happen, then life flows. See you later, kneecappers. You're doing just fine.